All right, welcome to our third and last lesson for section 4. So we've been talking about plant reproduction. In this lesson, we're going to talk about seed development and dispersal. So the learning goal is that you'll be able to understand the process of seed development and the various methods of seed dispersal, as well as why seed dispersal is vital to plant survival. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the key stages of seed development, identify and describe the main parts of a seed, describe the different types of seed dispersal mechanisms, give examples of plants that utilize each dispersal mechanism, and also explain the importance of seed dispersal for plant survival and ecological diversity. So first, let's talk about seed anatomy. So seeds are the result of sexual reproduction in plants, and they consist of 3 main parts: the embryo, the endosperm, and the seed coat. So seed development begins with pollination. There's a little bumblebee covered in pollen, and it's the transfer of pollen from the male to the female reproductive structures of a plant. Fertilization occurs when a pollen grain combines with an ovule, leading to the formation of a zygote. So first we have pollination, then fertilization, then zygote formation, embryo development, endosperm formation, and then finally seed coat formation. And these are 2 different types of seeds. We have dicots and monocots, and we'll talk about it, but it's the number of first little leaves that come out is the cotyledons. So here's our seed coat on the outside. The endosperm is right here. For a monocot, for a dicot, that space is the cotyledons. And then we have the embryonic stem and root right there. So the zygote develops into an embryo, which contains the future plant. So here's the embryonic root, kind of the embryo of the plant. It consists of the cotyledons, which is the seed leaves. So a monocot only has 1. A dicot has 2. That di means 2. Cot is for cotyledon. So here's, in the bean plant, here's the 2 cotyledons right there. These guys right here are the first true leaves. So a little bit different. And then in the monocot, here's the single cotyledon up here. Has the radicle, which is the embryonic root. So it's right here on the monocot in the corn. And then it is over here for the bean. And then the plumule is the embryonic shoot, which is kind of like hidden within the cotyledon here and here. All right, so here's just a closer up picture of that. So our radicle is our embryonic root. Plumule is the embryonic shoot. We have our cotyledons. Monocots have 1. Dicots have 2. So the endosperm is a storage tissue that provides nutrients for the developing embryo. So like, eggs usually have some sort of nutrient in them. This is the nutrient for seeds. It's often rich in carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. All right, and then we have the seed coat. So the seed coat, or testa, we'll just call it the seed coat, is a protective layer that surrounds the embryo and the endosperm just out here. It helps prevent desiccation, which is like drying out, and protects the seed from physical damage. So that's all about the anatomy of a seed. Now we're going to talk about how seeds get around. So seeds need to disperse to increase their chances of survival and successful growth. There are several mechanisms of seed dispersal. First is going to be gravity. It's just pulled down to the ground. Some seeds rely on gravity to fall. Examples are acorns and chestnuts. So they just fall from the tree to the ground. Wind dispersal, these guys are probably the most well known for them. Seeds have adaptations that allow them to be carried away by the wind. So these guys are super light. They're like little umbrellas floating away, which is why they get everywhere. Examples are dandelions and maple seeds. So another is these guys are maple seeds. They kind of like do a little helicopter thing through the air. Water dispersal is another one. These are seeds that can float, that are dispersed by water. So coconut and water lilies. Animal dispersal is another one. So many seeds use animals as carriers to reach new locations. Examples are burrs or fruit seeds. So they look like this. They're usually pretty spiky, and they stick onto your clothes, onto fur, whatever it is. All right, and last but certainly not least is explosive dispersal. So some plants have a mechanism that causes their seed pods to explode, which kind of like scatters the seeds everywhere. Examples are impatiens and then violets. So these guys actually go like pop open and the seeds go everywhere. So the benefit is that it helps reduce competition among parent and offspring. So if every single plant just dropped all of their seeds right where they lived, right where they were, that would mean they're all going to end up competing for the same thing. They want to spread the seeds out so they're not directly competing. And it increases the chances of seeds finding a suitable growing condition because they're just going to spread out and get to more places. All right, that is the end of this lesson. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next one.